Hello everyone, this is Vinay here from Learn Coding with Vinay, and welcome to our video series where we are building contact list APIs using ASP.NET Core 9 and ChatGPT as our coding assistant. Right. In previous video, we went over some of the few common functionalities that we use on a day-to-day basis, like having a calendar that displays the birth date of our contacts, right? Adding a contact to a group, removing a contact from the group, right, and getting a group context, right, emergency contact example, right. Now we are into the final stage of our video series now, right. Everything is built, we have built all the functionalities, but we need to secure our APIs now, right. So we will be doing it using JWT authentication, right. So I have prepared the prompt and push it to the chat gpt also to save time, so I'll just take you through that, right. So what I'm saying, just using ChatGPT's suggestion only, that proceed with JWT, that is production ready. I want to make sure that we are using a production ready, not just to learn, right. And let's follow base practice as well. As far as my understanding, except login and register method, everything should be behind JWT now, right. To login and register, these two methods are not to be secured, because if they are secure, then how will we access it, right? Access it. So generally these two are publicly accessible, right. Once those two and apart from those two, actually every controller's method over here, that should be using JWT authentication, right. So they should not be called directly by putting into the postman or hitting it on the web browser's URL or something like that, right. So we will implement the JWT authentication in this video, right. So let's say what ChatGPT has to say about this, right? So it is saying, yeah, correct. Okay, best practice is do not, put register and login into the JWT authentication. Remaining everything should go behind the authentication. That is okay. JWT architecture, JWT barrier, strong key. Okay, okay, this is okay, right? Now it is saying that install the NuGet packages. Okay, so we need to install Microsoft ASP.NET Authenticator JWT barrier. Let's do this. Let's go one by one on this. So use this. We'll go to tools, and so let me install it in the background and I'll come back. Okay, so we have the desired package over here. Just select it, and we are using since 9, we will make sure that it is using the latest of 9, right. Okay, select it, and again this is goes back to 10, but we'll make this, and I'll say install. Now wait for a while again. Okay, so uninstall button is enabled, it is installed. Make sure to save all, click on save all. Let's close this NuGet now, and let's once see into the dependency and package folder whether it is installed or not. So let's go to dependency packages, and we'll have to make sure that it is installed. So it is installed over here, JWT authentication, JWT barrier, right, the second package, right. So we are good on this. So let's move to the next step. Now next step says that, let's go to chat gpt. This is done. Now we'll have to copy this section into JWT setting, right. Okay, so let's go to our Visual Studio. Let me close whatever is open. Right, so I have opened the app setting.json. We'll put down this section over here with JWT, right. And we are not changing this. Let the key be this only. If it is troubling, then we will change, right. Ideally it should be something like this one, right. So this is key, this is issuer. Now issuer, basically who is issuing. So in this case, the server where we will be hosting the API should be the issuer, right. Audience, so what all kind of audience can actually use this token, right. So that is audience. And expires in minutes, obviously that is understandable, that a token will last up to 60 minutes. After 60 minutes the token will be considered as expired, right. So let's save this, close this, and move ahead. Now it is saying that, okay, add a one model called JWT setting. Okay, let's do that. Models and auth JWT setting.js. Okay, it is. So we'll go over here. We will go to models folder. In that models, we will have one more folder called auth. So I'll say right click, new folder, auth. In that we will put down the new class. So I'll say right click, add class. We will give it a name JWT settings. Say enter. Let's copy the code and let's put it down over here and change the namespace name. It should be contact list API. Contact list API. Okay, so that is done. Now let's move to the next one. Configure authentication in program.cs. Okay, so let's see what it has done over here. So here it is saying that get section JWT. So basically it is reading the section what we just entered into the app setting.json, right? Because while see JWT authentication is all about declaring required variables, creating JWT token. Now to create JWT token, there are certain things, certain inputs that is required that we have stored in app setting.json, and we will require those values while creating the session or creating the token or while configuring the token, right? So here it is. Then we are adding in our application, we need to add an authentication scheme. That authentication scheme should be the JWT authentication, right? This is what it is. Then then while creating the JWT, what all needs to be there? So it is saying that validate issuer while sorry validating. So when a JWT token comes to the server will validate all these things. It will check for the issuer, it will check for the audience, it will check for the lifetime, right? Signing keys and all those things, right? It will check for issuer also, check for audience. All those things will be there, right? And then this and this. Okay. So let's do this one by one. Let's copy up to this and after builder. Okay. Let's put it down in our app setting.json. So not sorry app setting.json, my bad, into the program.cs, right? So we'll keep it over here. We might have to import few using, yeah, okay. So let's take using from there only. It should be system.tags, identity token, and these three. Okay, let's take it, save it. And for JWT we will have to use uh, yeah, let's say it should be model.auth basically. Let's see control dot and what it suggests. Yeah, so it is suggesting models.auth. So let me pick that. So once we imported that models.auth, we don't see any error over here, right? So we are good up to this point. Let's move to the next. So up to here we have done. Now there should be services.add authorization somewhere. Okay, so it is not over here. So we will have to add it. Oh, before just we have the app build, right? So where do we have that? Over here, right? So let's make it sure, and we'll have to keep certain thing at certain place only, right? Otherwise it will not work in MVC and web API. Those who are working, they know already, but those who have not worked upon, then one thing that for ASP.NET Core Web API and ASP.NET Core MVC, certain things, certain files, certain folder, and certain code needs to be there at certain places only. So this is something you will you learn with the experience. But one keynote over here that certain files, certain folder, certain code has to be at certain place only, then only it works, right? Because that way MVC and all those frameworks are designed, right? Then use authentication and use authorization. So let's copy this, make sure these are there, right? So I think use authentication should already be there, yeah, over here. So let's replace it with these two. So this is good. Authentication must come before authorization. See the point over here. Authentication must come before authorization. Yeah, because we know first is the authentication, who the person is. Second is once we have identified the person, that what that person can do basically, right? That is called authorization. Now let's move to the, now it says service and token service. So let's create this token service class into the service folder. So let's go to service, right click. Ideally we should have added it into security, but this time it did not suggest us to add it in security, right? So that's okay, we'll keep it outside only, otherwise we'll have to change a lot of namespaces, right? So we'll take this, we'll copy these, and we'll replace it over here. And I'll go top and I'll just make these contact list API. JWT setting again, we'll have to add the using for models.auth. Okay, so this is good. Now see, what this is the generate token method, right? While generating the token, what it needs, it needs certain amount of data. It needs, oh, here we are using user ID and email, right? But apart from just the user ID and email, there are a lot of other things those are also required, right? For example, issuer, audience, claims. Once once we identify what a user can do, then these are the claims, right? At this moment we are adding only few things in claims. So let me see what we are adding. Okay, we are adding subject, that is email. We are adding claim name. We are adding just user ID, and we are adding the email. And only two things. Ideally we can add as many as parameter we want over here, but remember you will have to pass all those parameter as token generate token methods input parameters, right? Currently we are using only two to keep keep it simple, right? Okay, let's move to the next now. Now register the service into program.cs, obviously. So we have already registered one service, if you remember. Let me go open that program.cs, and we have already registered encryption service over here. Let's register the token service as well. Right. Now it is saying that let's modify login API to return JWT. Now the login should not return just the true or false, or right, just the user detail. We should return the token also with it, right? So what it is doing, let's say, let's copy this and let's open our login method first. So we will go to controller, auth controller, and let's see what do we have. Let me remove this and see what do we have. We are login method. Currently we are returning a response, auth response. Ideally we can modify auth response also to have a token over there, right? But let's follow as what it has done, right? I don't know why it is using this expires in 60. But it is not required, right? But let's take it as it is as of now, right? So let's copy this code again just to make sure we copied it, and just comment this out, and let's have the new login method in, right? Okay, so we have password here, sir. Okay, verify DTO. Okay, no. So we don't have password here. Yeah, we have something called is password. No, no. Okay, so let me inform it what we are supposed to do. Uh, control Z, control Z, control Z, control Z, control Z. Right. We already have. Let me inform it and let me make it align with our code. Let's see what does it come up with. Because as I said, ideally this should not be passed. Right. So let's say we already had the login method like below. I guess yes, we should modify API response, or what is the class name exactly? Auth response DTO, response DTO with token data. Please suggest here. Suggest here. So it might have it. It looks like ChatGPT forgot what the security class we created in the past for login, right? To encrypt the has the user password whenever user registers. So let's wait for a while and see. Okay, so let's see what it has rewarded as. Okay, so now we have auth response with JWT fields, token and expiry token expiry, right? Then it has changed the method also to calculate this, basically getting token from the our token service class, and this expiry is the JWT token dot expiry minutes. So where do we have this? Actually, this will also create a problem. uh, where is this? Okay, never mind. So let's see. Let's add these two fields as of now, right? So let me go ahead and open the API response, auth response DTO. Yeah, auth response DTO. And we'll put down this over here. So this is good. Now the login method, right? So let's change the login method to this. Let me copy this. Let me come to our login method, which is here. I'll just keep it for a reference, and then I'll copy paste this token service. Okay, so we will have to inject the token service over here. So let's say token service, right? So what was the name? Let me take that only. Token service. Now, so here it would be this, and here it would be this. Private read only, you know, token service, this, and let's assign it value in the I think this code was missed by ChatGPT. So let's do the same. It's quite easy, not a problem. We'll do it quickly. Right, so this is done. Let's see if the errors are gone. Okay, now password hazer. Now we don't have password hazer actually. Invalid credentials. Okay, so let me do one thing. So let's do one thing. Let me enable this method only. I will make required changes over here. So ChatGPT seems to be have forgotten our chat history, but that's okay. It has given us the code that we will use. So what we will be doing, we'll take these two. We'll take these two, and we will put it over here. Right. Again, on successful login, we should generate the token. Right. So what we will be doing, we'll come over here. Password. Okay, so here success, here it is the success, right? So we will say user.user id and user.email. So this is good. JWT settings, and so this we need to pick it from actually app setting.json. So okay, so let me keep it 60 as of now. Ideally it should read it from the configuration we have already added to over. So it is assuming that we have a class called JWT setting that has all these properties, right? That's okay. Okay, now no code change. Okay, excellent. Now what the other changes we need to do is this, which is this allow anonymous. We'll say copy. We'll say paste over here. Okay, this will remove. We already have this. So this is not required. And while returning, okay, we are returning response. This is good. Let me remove this. Now we don't need this actually. And for this also, let me quickly do this. We'll have to only inject the I configuration, right? I will give configs, right? And we'll make it over here underscore configs, and here we will take the I configuration underscore configs is equal to configs, right? Semicolon. Right, so this is good. Now what we need is over here where we have used the 60 hardcodedly. Okay, over here we need to have underscore configs dot get. I don't know why this is not coming up. Why? Underscore configs dot okay, get, we'll say section, and then in this section we'll put down the section name, which is, we'll go to websetting.json, JWT settings, or rather we can just say, we'll just take the value itself instead of get section, get value. Okay, what is that? We will have to specify the hierarchy of it, this, right? So here we will just copy paste this. Right, now what is the problem? Hmm. Okay, this is, okay, that's not a problem. Administer has a double value. Okay, what is this? Okay, not a problem. This should be to string actually, because everything written in uh, appsetting.json is by default string only. Extract the value with specified key and convert it into specified type. Yeah, this is what we need. Get value, right? Or maybe we have get. Ideal, this should work. Uh, let's forget it. Sorry, my bad. Let's keep this to, but ideally it should read something from the I configuration, right? Okay, so let's keep it 60. Yeah, we are good on this. Now let's move to the next. Now what we have done, okay, this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. Add refresh token, add logout, and if you want, no, refresh token as of now not required. Now we have allowed this on another. Now we need to apply. I think that step is seems to be missing, or maybe it was above. Okay, yeah. So the APIs that does not require authentication, we will have to put down anonymous on that, right? So for example, if we go to, now let me open the, where do we have auth controller, right? So login and register, these two should be anonymous, right? So they should work without the JWT, and rest everything, right? Let's say call history has to be behind the JWT. So for them we need to write authorize, right? So we can even authorize each method also, and we can authorize the entire class also. So here what we are doing, we are authorizing the entire class itself, right? So methods written in this controller all require JWT authentication. This is what it indicates. So let's do one by one for every. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, whether we don't require. Right, so we are good on this. Now what's the next step? I think to run it, extract the user ID from JWT importer. Okay, extension, claim extension, and use it on inside the controller. That's okay. We are passing user ID. I think this step is not required. Let's run this and see what is happening. Okay, so the we can see the Swagger now. The APIs are up. Right? Let's try to access one of them now. So let's say user contact, we'll try to get this user contact user. So basically all contact of a user, right? So if I go ahead and try to run this, let's say what is happen. Say one, execute, and let's wait. See, I tried to call this method and now it says 401 undocumented, right? It is not allowing us to uh, call the API, right? Now, what do we need to do? We need to pass this, token to this API whenever we want to call this, right? Now, for this, we can pass the token using Swagger also, but for that we need to have some code modification. As a, for a quick demo, I don't want to do it that, right? So what we'll be doing, we'll be using Postman. So I'll go to Postman, right? And we already have get all user or get. Let me see what we have. Get all groups of a user. Okay, let's say get all groups of a user. Any method basically, right? So let's try to get that. Let's try to get group. Where do we have group? Okay, get. So this one is get user groups, user ID, and it says the it returns us the all group name. So let me push it. It will fail at this moment, right? So that should fail in our Postman also, right? Let's send it and let's wait what Postman gives us the error. See, it gives us the error 401 unauthorized, right? Basically, we are not authorized to call this method. That's what it is telling, right? Now, let's go ahead and generate the token either from here. We can do it from here also. We can do it from Swagger also. Let's do it from Swagger itself. So, what we'll be doing, we'll go here, try it out, log in. So, let me, I think this was ramesh@gmail.com and I'll have to see the password. It was probably 1111, I guess. So let's see. Execute. So it took a lot time and resulted in actually timeout error. So let me stop all this and come back. Sorry for inconvenience over here. Okay, so I have rerun the project. Let's try our luck this time. Let me try it out. It was user1 @example.com if I'm not wrong, and this was 1111. Let's say execute, and let's wait and watch if it reverts back us with the token or not. If not, we will register with a new user and we'll begin from there. Okay, so at least API is working. It said invalid credentials. Let me try. I think it was user only. Let me try this. I think I forgot the password. Then also it resulted into the same. So let's do one thing. Let's register with new user, try it out. So that way we can test the, let me make this user 3. Let me make this user 3 @example.com. We'll have the mobile number as maybe let's say 3312345678910910. And let's keep the password also 3333 so that we remember it well. Let me execute. Let's wait for response. Okay, so this user is created. Excellent. Let's try to log in with this user. So we'll make this as user 3 and we'll make this as 3333. Okay. Let's say execute. And see, we have the token now. Excellent. So what we'll be doing, we'll take this token, right? Control C, and we'll have to pass it into the Postman now. I'll show you how to do this, right? So let's say get all user of a get all groups of a user, right? So what do we need to do? We need to go to body first. No, not over here. Sorry, my bad. We'll have to just give me a moment. Okay, so we'll have to go to authorization, select the bearer token, put down the token over here, right? And let's see if it is exactly what we had copy pasted or not. Okay, from E to W. Let's go ahead and check on Swagger E to W. Excellent. Now, now we are passing the token as in header, right? Now come back. Now let's hit this send. So it should give us the group names for this particular user. Now for this user 3, okay, so we have uh these groups for this user, right? So it returned us, right? Now let's try to bring the context of this user, right? So let me get group by id, create group. Okay, now not all these. Let's just go over here and let's try to user context. Okay, so this will give us the all the context name, right? So let me try it out. Let me put it 3 over here. Let me say execute. So currently it is giving us error, right? Because we are not passing the token. So let me copy this, go to postman. Let's have a new phrase request, and we'll make it get all context of a user, right? So let it come back. Okay, so this is get all context of a user, get all contact of a user. We'll say we'll copy paste the url over here. We'll have the user as 3, right? And let's try to hit this without the token, right? So it is giving us 401 unauthorized error. Excellent. Now if I go to authorization, right, I'll say bearer token, and I'll say what do we have. Okay, so we'll have this, and let's try to send this. We have the already token which is picked, I think, from the previous request, right? So we don't have context for this particular guy at this moment at for 3. So let's create group, no, update group, delete group. So let's try to create one contact, right? So what is the url over here? Try it out. Okay, so this is the format. Let's okay. Okay, let's try to create one from here only. This is 3 content link. Let's say abc. Let me give anything as of now. Is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Secondly, let it be user. Let's say user context. Let's say email user 12. Let's say random anything. Address is okay. Birth date is okay. And let this be part of group number 1. Let me execute this. Ideally this should give error, right? Because we haven't passed the token over here, right? What I wanted the url, right? So let's copy. Let's go over here and let's have one more request that actually creates a contact, right? So let's wait for postman to come back. Okay, so this is create contact, right? Now this is a post method, so we'll put down post over here. We'll put it down the url over here, and in the body we'll put down, we'll say raw. This should be json, and we'll take out the, we already have this json from here, right? So let's say okay, this is good, this is good. Let me make this abc at the rate example.com. Second removal, let me make it blank. Let's do it properly, and let me make this contact as a part of 2 group, 1 and 2, right? Now let's say send. Now this should also result in error because we haven't passed the token, right? Okay, now we will go to authorization. We'll go to bearer token. We already have the token, right? Now I'll say send, and let's wait, right? So it create contact api was called successfully with the token. It created the contact also with 6. Now let's try to get all contacts of a user, right? We'll go over here, we'll say send, and we should get this one contact that we recently created, right? So we have it. Excellent. Now see, so basically our login and register, these two API are not behind authentication, because that's what it is, right? We can't have a login and register API that actually requires a token. Then from where will you get the token, right? What is the core logic behind generating a JWT token is upon successful login. If login is successful, then it should generate the token. Otherwise, it should not generate the token. and that token needs to be passed to rest of the APIs, which all requires the token as a authentication parameter, right? Because we can't just allow everyone to have, okay, take this URL and use it. No, we can't, right? There has to be token, right? And it has to have the expiration time also. Now if we try this after 1 hour, then also this will fail, because by that time the token would have expired, right? So let's trace that also. We will change our currently we have coded it for a 60, right? So let me go JWT dot expiration minutes, right? So what we will be doing, yeah, we will be, what is JWT over here? Okay, read on JWT setting. Okay, that's okay. I option. Okay. Now, so what we will be doing? We will be changing our code to have token valid up to for 1 minute only. So let's say first thing we need to do is go to app setting.json over here, make it 1 minute rather than 60, make it one. Let me stop the program also. Okay, resume. Let's make it one. Okay, and we have, remember, we have hard coded also in the, I think, authentication service or somewhere. So let's do that also. No, not over here. We have it on. Okay, go to auth controller. In this, we'll say F12. We'll go to this generate token method, and that we have hard coded. No, we haven't hard coded. So this is good. Then where we have hard coded? Yeah, in the program.cs, I guess. No, this is also good. I think I remember we hard coded it somewhere. So go to service, token service. We don't have a problem over here, right? Over here also we don't have problem. Then my bad. Okay, so it was here. Sorry, my bad. It took a little time for me to identify where it was. So let's make it one also, right? It was in auth controller login method, right? Now save this and let me run this, and I'll come back again. And then we'll test the token expiration time also. Okay, so Swagger is up. Let's log in and get the token generated. Right, so let's say try it out. I would say exam. This is user 3, and this is 3333. Let me log in, execute, and generate the token. Okay, so it has generated the token. Let's copy that token and go to Postman. And let's try to get the user of this particular person, group of this particular person with the token. I think this is previous token. This is we need to clear up. Right. Let me clear this up. Right. Now let me push it for one. Send it. It should give us unauthorized error. Excellent. Right. Now what do we need to do? We just need to put down token over here. Say bearer token over here, and let's say send. So basically, we are retrieving the data for user number one, not for three. Remember, because I have data for one only, right? So it resulted in these three groups, right? Now token was generated around 5:33, right? So let's wait for these to turn 34 or 35. Let's, for a safer side, keep it 35, and then we will hit this send button again, just to make sure whether it is working or not. Ideally, token should expire and it should not work, right? So let's wait for a while. Okay, so more than 1 minute has passed. It is 34 now. If I say send, then it generates the error. Right, so it took 401 unauthorized. Let's try to log in again, and regenerate the token. So let me execute this. Right, let me copy this token again. Control C. Let's go to Postman. Put it down over here, the new token. Right, and let's say send. Yeah, okay. It didn't work because I might have not copy pasted it, right? It should be, let's say, it seems okay, although, okay, I think 4 was missing. Let's say, and now it is okay. Yeah, okay. So we have the, we could call the API. Right. Now, again, it was generated around 35. Let's wait again and let this go past 36 or 37, and then we'll test this again. So it is 36 now. Now let's try. Now it is gone. See, now we can't call it. It says unauthorized, right? Because we have kept the token expiration time to 1 minute only, right? So with this, we are ending this video series. I hope you like these videos, concept of API, and this was a very nice and small use case that we use on a day to day basis, but we might not have, take a note of it. But a contact list again is a very good example to build in any technology, right? Whether you are working on .NET or not, even if you are working on Node.js, PHP, or Java or anything, try implementing this simple use case with these scenarios I have explained in this video series. So thanks a lot, guys. I hope to see you in some other playlist. And if you like my channel, if you like this video series, hit like button, subscribe to my channel. And till then, goodbye and see you in the next video series. Thanks a lot, guys.